Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here with Yanzi Lynn, and today is the day we are talking about Rob Liefeld, actually. Rob Liefeld getting the truth out here, saying, where are all the young people at? Where are all the young people at in comics? Are there even any 20-something-year-olds, even teenagers working in comics? Now, for people that don't know, there are stories of Jim Shooter working as a teen, working on, I think, Legion of Superheroes, all the way to Bob Kane. A lot of young people got their start in comics. Even maybe Paul Levitz. A lot of people mainly got into comics usually in their 20s or something back in the day. It just seemed normal, or they went out to war and came back and got into comics, depending on what era we're talking about. So, are all the young creators? And let's get into it. Rob posted this on Twitter. Are there any teenagers making comics for the majors? Any at all? I'm looking at the folks that make our comics, and we are all so damn old now. 20 somethings question mark looking for you, please. And this is a really good question because there's a couple of factors that have changed in the American comic book industry. What do you think, Yanzi?
You remember how Heather Arndt always saying, guys, comics are doing great. Don't worry about them. Here we are in the year 2024 on the website CBR, where they say, wow, Japanese manga is outselling American comic books in the West. Like, OMG, they finally admitted it. So here is the line here. Manga has clearly overtaken comics, both in sales and cultural relevance. That's the important part. Even in the West, where comics are seen as the mainstream and have been around for decades, manga has been consistently outselling American comics. So they're talking about it's been happening for years. Fine, guys, we admit it. Recent years, we finally admit that it's real. So this is pretty much telling you guys where all the younger audience have been going to. If they're not reading mainstream comics, they're obviously reading something else. And what are they reading? Well, from the looks of things, they're reading manga. Now, what that means in the case of Rob Liefeld's tweet is that this aspiring new generation of creators not looking to come into American comics, superhero comics, whatever you want to call this part of it. They're more interested in the manga side, which means they're probably having more of manga influence and all that in their styles. One of the biggest players right now in the world of comics and all that is actually called Webtune. It's an online web-based comic manga website. And I can tell you the winners of that, they are not doing your superhero stuff, that's for sure.
Right. A lot of different factors here. And I'm not even sure it's a style thing. Because even if you want to argue that manga is the top selling things, it's not like these young American creators are going to go become manga creators in Japan traditionally. Traditionally, like the manga industry, Japanese hire Japanese, they're Japanese creators. So let's say you're still left with American kids that love manga and they're drawing I guess manga or something. How are they putting those skills to work? They're not.
Well, like I said, Webtoon, that's where they're all going up there and advertising that works with free word of mouth now. You don't have to go to a traditional publisher. That's one thing that Rob didn't notice here, and that's with the whole majors thing. Majors means people like DC and Marvel, maybe to a lesser degree,
Right.
Image, IDW, and all this stuff. These guys are the traditional gatekeepers of the comic book industry. Suddenly, when you have things like Webtoon, it really is a matter of just producing something that people really, really like, and then they'll promote it. And sometimes you're lucky you get a big fat book deal, just like Law Olympus or Solo Leveling, whatever that's hot on Webtoon now. These
Well,
guys did not go through the majors.
sure, but Webtoons is pretty dicey. Very few people make money off of Webtoons. Actually, it's only the 1% that's actually making any type of revenue, and Lord Olympus is kind of like an outlier out of the majority of it. I would like to believe crowdfunding is a big issue here. And we can't like look past this. And Rob is kind of a special circumstance himself. For people who don't know, Rob was a very young creator when he did New Mutants and other works. He was maybe teens, early 20s, Levi's commercial selling millions of copies of X-Force, creating one of the most popular characters to date as with Deadpool. That type of success at such a young age doesn't really happen. Instead, what happens usually is a lot of comic stories of creators who have been swindled out of characters, die penniless. I mean, you can look at a lot of regret with, creators like Jack Kirby and stuff, obviously, trying to get his original artwork back and stuff from Marvel Comics. You can look at Siegel and Schuster. I mean, the American comic industry is full of creators that have kind of been shafted one way or the other from major companies. There's very few stories like Rob's. So I'm not so sure if Rob doesn't understand the majority of young creators maybe don't see working in corporate comics as being beneficial. Now, I'm of the generation where you kinda wanted to build up your name and maybe then go do creator-owned stuff. Like, I was looking at people like Mike Mignola and Frank Miller, along with, the guys at Marvel that went on to do Image. They were, again, all creators that built their name off of Superman, Batman, X-Men, Spider-Man, stuff like that, and then they could go do creator-owned books. I don't know if today's audience sees that as a possibility. I mean, we're talking about some of these characters and some of these books selling at an all-time low. So, what's the big draw there? If Batman or Spider-Man isn't drawing a huge, ginormous audience, then how are you gonna benefit from that besides just being paid to do those pages? And that's another thing. Page rates have dropped. There are no royalties to be really hit on any of these books right now. So the idea of working for a low page rate and then but you're gonna get paid on the back end with like super royalties, that's not gonna happen. Exposure is on some of these characters at an all-time low. So, like, again, I ask, what is the big draw for working for the big 2? Some people would see, just doing crowdfunding as a way to at least their efforts would pan out to be something down the road. It's an interesting question. I don't think there's a simple answer to it, but it is very apparent that there are no new creators, and again, with Rob, I mean, he's saying, like, this Deadpool project he's working on now he's retiring from Deadpool after this. Again, age was brought up. Jim Lee's another one, says, yeah, he's kinda drawing less because he's getting older and older. It's like a lot of these creators are getting to the point of retirement age and getting ready to go into retirement age, and we have yet to see, a replacement. Not that I'm wanting to replace these guys, but, like, who are the new generation of comic artists that are supposed to fill these shoes? Why is Rob Liefeld having to come back to get people buying Deadpool again? It's like, why do we need Mark Silvestri on Batman? Why do we need Jim Lee there for a second, Marvel almost bought him to come work on X-Men again. I mean, shouldn't there already be a next big, young, hot artist to go do X-Men? I mean, Capullo's on Wolverine, but I mean, Capullo's not a young artist. I mean, Capullo was working on Spawn for God's sakes when Todd kind of stepped off of it, like in like around I don't know 19 or 20, whatever issue that was. I mean, Capullo was filling in. Maybe that was 7 and 8 or something. I don't know. There are no big new rock stars in comics, and if there happens to be one, we don't need one. We need like 8 or 18. Where are these new artists? I doubt that there aren't great new artists. I just think they're working anywhere else but comics. That's my opinion. I think there's too many horror stories. I think it looks like a fruitless venture, and I see a lot of good talent in crowdfunding. I myself happen to have a crowdfunder over there right now. Shane Davis is Inglorious Tracks Volume 3. If you guys have missed out on Volume 1 and 2, you can pick up a collection in his campaign. 8 days left. $189,713. Getting ready to be $190,000. I know you guys want to jump in, be part of this big movement of crowdfunding comics. The link is down below. We'd love to see you on this campaign. I'll leave you guys with a trailer for this. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Catch you guys again with another video.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Truth always hurts worse. Doing good till first, reverse, now you last. Blast of the bag. It's cool though. Last card, play it right. Uno. We never let up. Been down forever. Sick man, we fed up. Know that we tired. Wake up the beast that's been sleeping inside. It's time to ride. We ready to slide. Hard headed.